Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss degree second year 4th SEM General English mock test question paper along with solutions. So as you all know, the question paper comprises of two sections, section A and section B, or part A and part B. And this first part, that is the section A, is comprised of grammar questions and completely objective type of questions. And under grammar you have these three units, unit 4, 5 and 6. And from unit 4 you get phrasal verbs and Concord, and from unit 5 you will get questions from commonly confused words and determiners, and from unit 6 you will get questions from technical vocabulary and reported speech. Now moving on to section B, this is a subjective type of paper and you will have to attempt for 16 marks. Again you have the unit 4, 5 and 6, and from unit 4 you have a poem As I Grew Older, and then grammar of anarchy prose lesson, and from unit 5 you have the flower poem, and then the kite maker, the prose lesson, and unit 6 you have reported writing. So this is an overview of your question paper, section A and B. This is for 20 marks, section A, and then section B is for 16 marks. Okay, let us move on to section A, the objective type of questions. So D, old photos never fail to bring dash old memories. So the correct preposition is bring back old memories. Then moving on to second question, answer as directed. A Supreme Court judge retires at 65. Identify the subject and the verb. This is regarding the Concord. Okay. So Concord is an agreement between the subject and the verb. So what is the subject here? The Supreme Court judge is the subject and retires is the verb. Because this is third person singular, the verb takes S form, retires. Supreme Court judge. Subject and retires is the verb. There were many important leaders at the meeting. Identify the subject and the verb again. So here the subject is many important leaders is the subject and the verb is were. There were many important leaders in the meeting. So important leaders is the subject and were is the verb. C. My father and my mother dash attending the meeting. So here do not take only my mother. It is a combination of two subjects, my father and my mother. So it's a plural. So what should be your verb? Are. My father and mother are attending the meeting. D. Each one of those books dash a classic. Though books looks like a plural, but here the subject is each. You are referring to each particular book. So your subject is singular over there. So each one of those books is a classic, not are a classic. Is a classic. So refer to the subjects very, very carefully. Then only there will be a concord between the subject and the verb. Third question, answer as directed. The sun dash in the east, raises or rises? This is confusing words. They look like same, but little bit of difference will be there. You should be very careful in choosing the right word. So the sun rises in the east. That should be the answer. What is the dash objective of your research? So principle or principle. So principle is the right answer. That means the main. What is your main objective? So principle means the main objective. PAL. Remember all of you, PAL. The head of the institution also, educational institution also is a principal. Then AL only will be there. Before the bell rang, students were dash. So all ready or all ready to go home. They look like same but they are different. They are confusing. So this is the answer. ALL, all ready. D. I don't think he will dash the invitation accept or accept. So these are again a confusing set of words. It should be accept the invitation. Next, fourth question. Choose the correct alternatives. Chennai was dash known as Madras, whether it is formally or formally. So both look like same, but there is a difference. So the answer is formally, means previously known as Madras. He discovered some historic or historical records during his research. So the answer is historical records. The records are historical. The signing of the peace treaty was a dash event. What type of event? Here it is historic event. Both are adjectives. Historical and historic both are adjectives. But just remember the appropriacy here. Historical records and historic event. The exercise is dash easy. Here also many people go wrong in choosing the right word. It is quite, not quiet. Be very cautious with the spelling. It is ITE, not IAT. Quiet is silent. Okay, so the exercise is quite easy. Fill in the blanks with appropriate determiner. So determiners are the articles and then the fixing words like for countable nouns and uncountable nouns. I have very dash money left in my bank account. So the answer is, okay, they're quite easy, and the answer here is little money. Though money looks like countable, but actual money is uncountable. We need some units to count the money, like 1 rupee, 2 rupees, or coins, 50 paise, 25 paise, like that coins we require some units to count the money. But if you take money as it is uncountable, so it is little. And Yes, next one B. Give me dash pencils to color this picture. So few are a few pencils. Always remember few is negative and a few is positive. Few means hardly there are no any pencils, negative pencils. But if you say a few, then it is countable. In the same way, little also. If you say little, it is totally negative, nothing. A little means a little bit. It's a positive meaning. All of you remember these two variations, a few and a little. Can't you see dash book? It is right here. Here. This tells the place of the book, and this helps you to pick up the right kind of determiner, that or this. If it is near, it is this. If it is far away, then it is that. So the answer is, can't you see? uh, yeah, there are a few, and here it is this book. Please give me dash more coffee. Also the answer is some more coffee. Okay, next moving on to the next. C. She found several informations on the internet. So what is the error here? Information is uncountable noun. So several is a countable determiner. So the error is several over here. So she found several informations on the internet. So what is the error here? Information is uncountable noun and several is a countable determiner. So the error is with the word several. So you can say she found a lot of information, or she found much information on the internet. And the next error is informations cannot be plural. It can be only singular. So information on the internet. Every day I drink glass of milk. So you cannot say just a glass of milk. It should be a glass of milk. That is the correct determiner. Next, seventh one. Choose the correct determiner from the given words. And the given words are little, much, any, both, every, some, the. So how dash homework have you completed? So the answer is how much homework have you completed? B. I need to finish dash English essay that I started in the morning. The answer is the English essay. You are referring to a particular subject. So that is why the definite article the. Then my sister rarely drinks dash coffee. So the answer is any. My sister rarely drinks any coffee. I have dash time for sports. So here you get a negative little time. You remember I told you a little means positive, little means negative. Eighth one, choose the correct technical vocabulary. Technical vocabulary, you have to refer page number 109 for all the technical vocabularies. So written list of points to be discussed in a meeting. What do you call it? It is called as an agenda. A signboard for advertising posters. What is it called? It is called a billboard. A white paper is an dash document. What document? Authentic document. They said dogs are fun to play with. Change into reported speech. So they said dogs were fun to play with. The verb are changes to were because the reporting verb is in past tense. That's why all the verbs in the following sentence will be changed into past tense only, and remove the inverted commas. Never put the inverted commas in the reported speech, and then close with the full stop. These are the important instructions you have to remember. Now let's move on to section C. Section B, the subjective type of questions for 16 marks. Answer any four from the following questions. 9. And then the wall rose. Is it really a wall that the poet is referring to? If not, what do you think the wall refers to? Remember, this question is from the first poem from Unit 5. And if you remember the title of the poem, it is As I Grew Older, written by Langston Hughes. So we see an excellent artist in the poem. As I Grew Older by Langston Hughes. The poet portrays his dreams and the problems they posed. So here he subtly discusses the racial discrimination he faced throughout his life, and that was a wall behind between his dreams and the achievement. So the poet says, then the wall rose. The wall that rose is not that of bricks and cement. It is a wall of challenges and other discrimination he faces. And he encounters this kind of discrimination in realizing his dreams. So he is not able to achieve his dreams or achieve the success in his life just because of this discrimination, and that has become a strong wall which he could not break down. The wall also symbolizes the racial discrimination. That's what I was trying to tell, and it means a lot more to the poet. 10th question. What anxieties does Dr. Ambedkar express in his speech, and what is the basis for his apprehensions? You remember, just before the declaration of India as a republic country, he gives a speech and he talks about all his apprehensions and his doubts, which he foresees even after the completion of 75 years. His doubts and his apprehensions remain the same. That is the beautiful irony in his speech. Okay, they have not changed at all. So the anarchy of grammar, that is the title of the lesson here. The anarchy of the grammar is an extract from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's insightful speech in the Constituent Assembly on 25th November 1949, just before 2 months of the declaration of India as a sovereign country or as a republic country. That is in 1950, January 26th. Ambedkar expresses certain anxieties in his speech. So what are the anxieties? And his concern is well founded. He elaborates the basis for his fears. And India became independent, but Ambedkar says that will India lose her independence a second time? The reason for this doubt is found in India's history. India was independent long ago, but she lost her independence because of the infidelity and treachery of her own people. So he talks about the previous incidents, and his apprehension is that these kinds of incidents should not repeat in future. And now there is no control, there is no regularity on the political scenario also, because it has become independent. So he says that now the people have to be more earnest and more sincere compared to the previous days. So here he cautions the leaders who are going to lead the country. That is his apprehension. 11th question. Explain the central idea of the poem The Flower. You remember the poem Flower? This poem is written by Alfred Lord Tennyson, and he is one of the most popular poets of the Victorian era. And he writes such a beautiful poem, and his theme is on flower, but he writes many more things related to him. So the poet himself called this poem as My Little Fable. Fable is the short story. So he tells a short story in the form of a poem. And it is short, delightful, and symbolic. It is an ironic comment on how people react to the new and original, the change, the metamorphosis. And the speaker sowed a seed in a garden in a golden hour. It grew into a plant, and there appeared a flower. People said it was just a weed. When the plant grew, they said it's just a weed. Weed means unwanted plant. They muttered their unhappiness and cursed the speaker. When the flower grew further, it was more beautiful. Someone stole the seed one night and sowed it elsewhere. Soon it was grown everywhere. Now all have got the seed. Some grew attractive flowers, yet others produced poor flowers. People now again call it but a weed. Here is a biological element also hidden in this poem. So he compares the flower to his own products, to his own literary works. So people first started commenting on his literary works, then they started up, um, appreciating the uh, poet's works, and they even copied, it seems, his literary works. So that was the popularity he enjoyed. And after that, again, they started calling it as a weed, unwanted. So they started criticizing him. So he talks about the human nature, the ironical human nature, the professional rivalry. Also, he talks about very beautifully in this poem, Flower. So you have to write the central idea of the poem, read the poem thoroughly, and then understand it and write the summary in your own words. Next question 12. Explain the symbolism of the kites and the trees in the story The Kite Maker. This is a prose lesson, and you remember how the little boy asked his grandfather to get his kite which is stuck in the banyan tree. So what is the relation between the trees and the kites, you have to write here. So Ruskin Bond has written this short story, and then he is a very famous creative artist. Also, he as if his works appear as if he's drawing a beautiful picture. That is the vivid description he has in his writing, and mostly he writes for the children. So here he wrote this kite maker, and he employs many literary devices also to enhance the aesthetic value of his works here. So he's a fond lover of nature. So all his writings, they depict the beautiful sceneries and the scenarios, and there is a kind of devotion towards the environment, towards the flora and the fauna in his works. And here he talks about the tree, the very huge tree. And Bond selects trees and birds as his symbols. In The Kite Maker, the lead character is Mahmood. The ancient banyan tree in the town symbolizes Mahmud's life well. The tree has gnarled branches. Even Mahmud's arms and bones are twisted. So that is the first symbolism between his body and the tree. People are indifferent to the banyan tree. So is the fate of Mahmud. Now he is grown old, and people are not taking care of him, and they are not also giving any acknowledgement to the banyan tree. Before that, there used to be lot of ceremonies celebrated under the banyan tree, and people who came there, they used to talk to Mahmud and inquire about his well-being. But now they have stopped, and he says they have become indifferent to both the tree and Mahmud himself. Towards the end of the story and of Mahmud, a butterfly rises from Mahmud's beard and flies to the mimosa plant. There is a small mimosa plant over there, and this is symbolic of Mahmud's spirit blessing the mimosa, which is in turn stands for Ali. So as the butterfly moves from his beard and rests on the mimosa tree, he says his legacy will be carried forward with his grandson Ali. So that is the symbolism between the trees and the kite. Okay, here. Uh, and finally, the kite from Ali's hand flying high into the blind blue sky represents Mahmud's soul soaring high to unknown regions. So the kite is his soul. That is the symbolism here he talks about. Moving on to the next question, 13. Explain the inverted pyramid style of writing a media report. This is the last unit Unit 6 about writing skills, and here you have to learn only report writing, the various types of report writing, the business reports, the feasible reports, the evaluative reports, and the progress reports. The four types of reports you have to learn how to write them. So why do we write a media report? Basically, the objective of writing a media report is to catch the attention of the readers. So it should sustain the attention of the readers, as well as their attention should be focused on what is being reported. So the inverted pyramid style of writing is used for that purpose. And this report follows what is called the inverted pyramid. Here what happens, you remember the pyramid, the triangle, the base is broader and then it points out, but it is actually inverted. So what happens when it is inverted? The climax comes first. First, they give the fact as a bang. The moment they just give the headlines as a bang, and then the curiosity of the viewer is aroused, and then they go with the details, and the least important details are given in the last. So first the climax, then the details, and then the least important details. And it also follows that 5W structure. 5W structures means the words, the questions: who, what, when, where, and why. So this is the order which is followed in writing a media report. And these 5 questions are answered in this inverted pyramid structure. Now moving on to the 14th question, describe the structure of a formal business report. All of you remember that the basic structure is the same: the introduction, the main important, the main details, and then the conclusion. These are the three aspects of writing a business report, and the structure of a business report is like this. So I was telling that it has three important parts. The first, introduction. It is also called as the title page, and this consists of the introduction consists of the title page and the preface and the letter of transmittal and letter of acknowledgement. These are the authentic documents you have to fulfill. The acknowledgements means you will be thanking all the people who have really helped in forming or in documenting this business report. Okay, and then it is followed by the table of contents and the list of illustrations and the summary. The abstract is there in the first part, the introduction part. And the second one, the main body, includes um, introduction, methodology, and discussion, and the last part writes about the conclusion. So how did you collect the data? What all tools you have used to collect the data? Like did you use questionnaires? Did you use any observation charts, or did you use any checklist? What is the method of collection of the data? And then how did you analyze the data? What methodology you have used to analyze the data? So these are the details you will be writing under these three sections: the introduction, the main body, and then the conclusion. Conclusion, you will be writing about all the measures you are suggesting for the improvement of the product or whatever business report you are writing on. Next question, describe the process of writing a feasibility report. You remember there is an order: first the feasibility report, then the evaluative report, and then the suggestions you give. So in feasibility report, what are the main events, or what are the main aspects of the feasibility report? So the structure is the same for the reports, all the reports: the introduction, main body, and the conclusion. So introduction, as I told you, you will write all the, I mean, the synopsis of the report, and then the introduction, the contents, the list of contents, then the acknowledgements, letter of transmittal. Letter of transmittal, you're authorizing somebody to write that letter, from whom you got the instruction to write the report, and then you will be writing that. And then in the main body, you'll be doing a lot of groundwork, because this is a feasibility report. You're writing it about a product, how far the product can exist in the market. So you will be doing a lot of groundwork, where you have done the groundwork, and who are the persons who helped you, and what are the facts and figures you have with you. You have to present all in the uh, main body. Then the conclusion, you will be concluding by suggesting the measures. And coming to the 16th question, describe the structure of a progress report or an evaluation report. Here I talked about the four types of reports. So there is a subtle difference between these four types of reports. You have to very clearly writing about that. So business report, feasibility report, progress report, and evaluation report. So what do you write in a progress report? Again, in the progress report also the structure is the same. The introduction, the main body, and the conclusion. But the two important points which you are writing in the progress report are, first one is venturing into new fields. One product is there. How can you really implement some kind of suggestions how to modify the project or how to take about the new introductions into the market. That all, those all things you are going to write. And capturing the market field, that is also an important thing you are going to write. And then how do you earn profit, that also you are going to mention in the progress report. And the last one is evaluation report. Again, the evaluation report, the basic structure is the same: the introduction, the main body, and the conclusion. So what will you write in the main? So the main body here discusses, it gives a description which decides the criteria and checks whether their expectations are in line with the set criteria or not. Whether they, what all suggestions were given in the feasibility report and the business report, whether they are followed or not, that you are going to give a kind of assessment, a kind of evaluation you will be mentioning in your body of the evaluation report. So this is an overview of your section B, students. So there are these 8 questions are given and you have to answer only 4 questions. So you decide where to focus and what is your banking aspect. So which prose is easier for you to remember and where you can give an effective answer. You decide that and then do well in your examinations. All the very best in your examinations. So I hope this model will really help you in preparing for your examination, and it motivates to sit with your textbooks and prepare for the examination. Thanks for watching, and if this tutorial had made sense, please like, share, and do not forget to subscribe. That means a lot for me. Okay, bye bye for now, and let's meet up in the next video. Bye, take care.